welcome back to a brand new episode brought to you by GamesGlitches, and in today's episode we're going to take a look at patch 226 and the new armor that was introduced with it, such as the ghillie suit, the industrial oven, a modern bed, and a bunch of table furniture. First things first, I turned my graphics to epic quality, maxed everything out, and I want to take a look at how the ghillie suit looks at 60 frames a second. It actually looks really nice. You could easily camouflage yourself in the greenery. So let's see the light hit the back, so the back is easier to see. No, they did a really nice job with this armor. I can't even say anything. A few of my friends, like we were playing hide and seek, you run straight past people and you don't even notice them, because they kind of start blending in with the environment, since you're both green and stuff, especially if you dye your armor or dye something even lighter green to match the environment perfectly. The nice thing about this armor that it does not require a smithy or a fabricator. All you really need to do is you could craft straight out of your inventory. As you could see, it requires no kind of crafting table or anything to craft. Once you just learn it, you will always have it. Of course, to learn the full suit of ghillie armor, you would need to be around level 35, and each piece costs about 11 engram points. So between these 5 pieces, I believe I spent about 55 engram points. The armor itself in quality and durability and strength is located somewhere between the hide armor and the chitin set. The armor itself is quite very nice. In durability and in strength and in quality, it's located somewhere between the hide armor and the chitin armor. But thankfully it does not require anything, any kind of tables or anything to craft, so you could craft straight out of your inventory. On top of that, if you take a look at what's needed, 12 hides, 5 fiber, 8 organic polymer, 10 hides, 4 fiber. Basically, to craft this, it costs absolutely, basically nothing. Organic polymer you could easily obtain by getting onto your Argentavis and grabbing one of the penguins and bringing them back, or just killing one of the penguins straight up, because they just run for their life when you start stabbing them. So that should be absolutely no problem. The fact that they're only mostly located in a cold area, that could be quite annoying for you to go and get the organic polymer from there. Otherwise, I see no problems with anything here. Another interesting thing about this armor is the fact that it helps you to sustain yourself within a very hot environment, and also provides a very minuscule amount protection versus cold. I mean, come on, you're wearing buttload of leaves and greenery on yourself. Of course, it's gonna help you, sustain yourself in a hot environment, but if you go in a cold area like this, you're just gonna freeze to death, especially the tundra area, both in-game and in real life. I don't care what you say. Maybe you're an Eskimo, congratulations, but normal people in tundra area wearing a ghillie suit made out of leaves would tend to freeze to death, just thinking about it. Another interesting thing about the ghillie armor is the fact that it camouflages you and reduces the visibility range by other predators by about 50% on you. Meaning that you see this raptor right here? This little bastard would have attacked me already while I was there on that back hill. That insect would have most likely jumped me. But because of the ghillie armor, I can almost come up to it point range. And now it only notices me now. Like, you could see how close I was able to get before they even noticed me, which is quite incredible. No longer do I have to, sneak around for miles. I could just straight up walk past them. Yes, this armor really does the trick in camouflaging an individual quite well versus the other armor. I mean, unless you dye this armor bright pink, then yes, it will definitely lose its ability to camouflage you. But otherwise, it should do its job quite well. Next on our list is we're going to take a look at the industrial cooker. Unlike the industrial forge, the industrial cooker is a lot smaller, well, significantly smaller. To learn the industrial cooker, you need to achieve level 80 and have 60 engram points to learn. To craft the industrial cooker, of course, you would need to first create yourself a fabricator. After you, of course, got the pattern, have the fabricator, now you could easily create it. The components for it are quite expensive, but not as expensive as for the industrial forge. You need 300 polymer, 1800 metal ingots, 450 cementing paste, and 300 oil to craft a single industrial cooker. Unlike the industrial forge, which seems to be a lot more expensive, instead of 1800 metal ingots, this requires 2500, which is a quite significant difference, especially if you're playing on legitimate servers without any mods or, any kinds of exploits. The industrial cooker also requires gasoline to work. As you can see, it has this nice little graphic where it shows, the gas heating up the cooker. And it could hold up to 48 slots within itself. Within the industrial cooker, after you have placed the gasoline, you could start creating different items, like food items, kibble, soap, and different dyes. Also, please note that the industrial grill, even though it's not as tall as the industrial forge, though it does take up about 1.5 of foundations. As you could see here, here's the foundation, it's about halfway into the second foundation. So when building this, make sure that you have enough room to basically put it down. The next thing that we're going to take a look at that they have introduced in the world of ARK would be the bunk beds, which actually look really nice based on graphical design. Wow, they really did a nice job on it. The nice thing about the bunk beds, of course, is the fact that you're able to respawn twice as fast rather than you do on the simple beds, allowing you to return to combat, grinding or farming or taming twice as fast after your death, or allows you to basically die twice in the time that it takes another person to die once, and be able to respawn quicker. The bunk beds are quite expensive, not based on resources, but based on the engrams. You need to be first level 60 and have 28 engram points to spend to craft a bunk bed. 28 points for a bunk bed, in my opinion, is a little excessive and a little expensive, but it's definitely worth it. And what you need to craft, as you could see in the instructions here, is a fabricator. So let's now take a look at our fabricator. To craft the bunk bed, you would need 80 polymer, 200 pelts, 320 metal ingots, 280 fiber, and 120 hide, which seems to be kind of expensive to make, but for what it does, it's definitely worth the value. You no longer need to place down 2 beds. If you have you and your friend playing, you could both spawn at the same location. Basically, because the respawn time is half, between 2 of you, it'd be like you're spawning at a single simple bed. Another thing that they have introduced to World of ARK is the fact that you can now craft yourself a wooden table. As you could see here, I've placed 2 pestle and mortar on top of the wooden table. You could put different other objects on top of it, but as the ARK progresses, you'll be able to even place even more. At the moment, you could only place few things on top of the table. It's a nice little furniture addition to World of ARK. With their chairs and everything. So now you could actually, instead of constantly having only chests, beds, and fabricators and smithies, you could now actually start putting up normal furniture and make your house look like a house rather than a giant factory. Thank you all again for tuning in to another video on ARK on patch 226. I hope to see you all in the next video. As usually, please click like, please subscribe, and please stay tuned for more videos to come as I make them quite frequently.